The next electrical characteristic which we are going to study is the gain bandwidth product. Basically, this property will be more clear after we will study the high frequency response of the 741 op amp. From there, we will be able to plot this graph conceptually. The graph you can see here on this slide. This plot can be very easily plotted once after we study the high frequency response of the op amp. Here now let us understand, this is the plot of gain versus frequency. We have to see what is the gain bandwidth product for the 741 op amp. In this graph you can see on the x-axis we have taken the frequency, that is on the abscissa or horizontal axis. Frequency is plotted, and on the ordinate or vertical axis or y-axis we have plotted the gain of the op amp. Now remember one thing, the frequency is plotted in logarithmic scale and the gain is plotted in linear scale, and the unit of gain which we will use is generally in decibels. Why? Because the range of frequencies which we are going to take for the op amp, it is quite high. So to accommodate those very large frequencies on the graph, it is better to use the logarithmic scale, क्योंकि logarithmic scale हमें वहाँ यूज़ करना होता है जहाँ पे हमारे पास बहुत ज़्यादा वैल्यूज़ हमको अपने ग्राफ में शो करनी होती हैं, और यहाँ पर भी हम क्योंकि पूरे ओप एम्प के बिहेवियर को स्टडी करने वाले हैं, एंड दैट विल बी स्टडीड फॉर अ वाइड रेंज ऑफ फ्रीक्वेंसीज, so it is more convenient to do this plotting on the logarithmic scale. Now why we are plotting the gain in decibels, we can also plot it in numerical values, but because we are using the logarithmic scale, it is better to use the gain in decibels. Now say this, the frequency has started from 0 hertz. 0 hertz means we can see DC, we can say DC, and as we are moving on this abscissa, the frequency is increasing. Here somewhere where it is written transition frequency, this frequency is basically 1 megahertz for 741 op amp. Why this frequency is 1 megahertz? Again we will see in the next few slides this whole concept. Let us just understand what is meant by gain bandwidth product here. So this transition frequency, or which is also known as unity gain frequency or unity gain bandwidth, is here. Why this frequency is known as unity gain frequency or unity gain bandwidth? Because at this frequency the gain of the op amp is 1. Now remember again, the gain is 1 in numerals. If we talk in dB, that how much gain is at this gain bandwidth, then we will say 0 dB. Why? While we have to take out the gain in decibels, what we will do, we will convert it into by using the formula 20 log. Suppose we have to convert x in, which is in numeral form, into the decibel form, then what we will do, because we are talking about voltage gain, we will do the conversion like 20 log x. So when we will do here 20 log 1, because the gain is 1, so basically the value of x or voltage gain is 1. So 20 log 1 means 0. So either you say unity gain is 1 in numerals or it is 0 dB, both are same things. So the frequency at which the gain of the op amp is 1 or 0 dB is known as the unity gain frequency, or more technically unity gain bandwidth. Because gain हमारा unity हो जा रहा है, जिस frequency पे हो रहा है, तो हम उसको unity gain bandwidth बोल दे रहे हैं. अब यहाँ पर आप देख रहे होंगे ये पूरी बैंडविड्थ यहाँ से यहाँ तक 0 हर्ट्ज से ये क्रॉस ओवर फ्रीक्वेंसी तक को यहाँ पे इसने रिप्रेजेंट किया है यूनिटी गेन बैंडविड्थ. आप देखिए अगर जैसे जैसे हमारी फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ रही है, यू कैन सी दैट इन दिस ग्राफ वेरी क्लियरली दैट एज द फ्रीक्वेंसी इज इंक्रीजिंग, the gain of the op amp is gradually decreasing. But if you see up to this certain point here, which is also known as the break frequency, up to this certain point, the gain of the op amp is almost constant for this range. This range for which the gain of the op amp is almost constant, if we speak about the ideal op amp, this should be constant, fully constant, but practically there is a slight change in the gain for this bandwidth. So this bandwidth up to the break frequency is known as the full power bandwidth, because for this bandwidth we are getting the maximum gain of the op-amp. Now afterwards this frequency, which is the break frequency, you can see that the gain of the op-amp, it is gradually decreasing and decreasing, and finally it is coming to 0 dB or 1. So this frequency at which we are getting 3 dB less gain than the maximum gain. That means here this is the maximum gain and this is 3 dB below this maximum gain. That is why this break frequency is also known as 3 dB frequency, because at this frequency the gain is 3 dB below its maximum value, or you can say the gain is 0.707 times the maximum gain. When you will convert 0.707 in decibels, it will come equals to 3 dB, and there will be a minus sign also which will indicate that the gain is decreasing. So this is this full portion from the zero frequency to the break frequency is known as full power bandwidth. And for 741 op-amp, this break frequency is actually 5 Hz. The break frequency is 5 Hz, which is very less bandwidth. If we see that for open loop op-amps, the break frequency is 5 Hz, which is very less. That is why we will be preferring closed loop op-amps in order to increase that bandwidth. Just now we are seeing the case for the open loop op-amps. So break frequency is 5 Hz and this transition frequency is 5 MHz for 1 MHz for 741 op-amp. That is only written here, that the unity gain bandwidth is about 1 MHz for op-amp 741C. Now see, after this break frequency, this is the break frequency, this dotted vertical line is showing the break frequency where the gain is 3 dB below the maximum gain. So after this the gain starts to decrease. What is the rate of the decreasing of this gain? Actually this gain reduces at a rate of minus 20 decibels per decade. Why minus we are saying? Because the gain is decreasing. If the gain would have increased like this in this direction, we would have said plus 20 dB per decade. But because the gain is decreasing, we are saying minus 20 dB per decade. What is 20 dB or 20 decibels per decade? Decade means 10 times. Whenever there is a change in frequency 10 times, the gain is decreased by a factor of 20 decibels. मतलब कि अगर frequency हमारी 10 times increase हो रही है तो gain हमारा 20 decibels decrease कर जाएगा. इसका मतलब ये हुआ 20 decibels per decade. दूसरी बात यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं लिखा हुआ है gain bandwidth product. Now what is this terminology? See, after this break frequency till here, at any point on this graph, the product of the gain and bandwidth will always be a constant, and that constant is equals to 1 megahertz. That is the unity gain bandwidth. Now suppose here if the gain is, just suppose here the gain is 100, okay, and it is asked to calculate the frequency. How we will calculate? We know that on this portion of the graph the gain bandwidth product is constant and that is 1 megahertz. So if we know that the gain is 100 and the constant or the unity gain bandwidth is 1 megahertz, we can definitely calculate the very easily. We can calculate the bandwidth. How? 100 into x is equals to 1 megahertz. We can take out the value of x. मतलब ये है कि यहाँ से यहाँ तक हर पॉइंट पर गेन का और बैंडविड्थ का जो प्रोडक्ट होगा वो हर पॉइंट पर कांस्टेंट होगा, और उस कांस्टेंट की वैल्यू होगी हमारे ओपैम्प की यूनिटी गेन बैंडविड्थ विच इज एक्चुअली 1 मेगाहर्ट्ज फॉर 741 ओपैम्प. सो इफ अगर हमें गेन की वैल्यू दी है, वी कैन कैलकुलेट द वैल्यू ऑफ बैंडविड्थ by gain bandwidth product is equals to 1 megahertz. If we have been provided the value of bandwidth, we can calculate the value of gain. अब ये जो gain आप निकालना है, that can be taken out in numerals form also or also in the form of decibels. It is better to take it out in decibels form. So this was the whole concept behind the gain bandwidth product. Let's move to the next slide. Offset output offset voltage. The output offset voltage, it is the DC voltage present at the output terminals when both the input terminals are grounded, and it is denoted by output this O for output, this O for offset, and this for output offset voltage. दैट मीन्स कि अगर हमने अपने दोनों इनपुट टर्मिनल को ग्राउंड कर दिया है तो हमें ओप एम्प के आउटपुट टर्मिनल पर कितना वोल्टेज मिल रहा है. बेसिकली अगर हम आइडियल कंडीशन देखते हैं तो अगर हमारे दोनों इनपुट टर्मिनल्स ग्राउंड है तो उस कंडीशन में क्या होना चाहिए, आउटपुट भी जीरो होना चाहिए. क्यों? Because 741 is a differential amplifier which amplifies the difference between the two signals. But actually the difference here when both the input terminals are grounded is zero. That means the difference signal is also zero and hence the output should be zero. But that is an ideal case. If we talk practically, there will exist some voltage at the output terminals of the op amp, though both the terminals, the input terminals, that is inverting terminal and non-inverting terminals, are grounded. So this is only known as output offset voltage. And in order to nullify this output, we do the setting by using that 10 kilo ohm potentiometer which was connected between the pin numbers 1 and 5, and the wiper of that potentiometer was connected to the minus VE supply. All this we have already studied in the previous slides. सप्लाई करंट मतलब कि आपको जो आप पावर सप्लाई दे रहे हैं, जैसे पावर सप्लाई हमने देखा था कि प्लस माइनस 15 वोल्ट की हमने दे रखी थी, रेंज उसकी प्लस माइनस 5 वोल्ट से प्लस माइनस 15 वोल्ट है. तो कितनी एक्चुअली करंट ड्रॉ करता है उस पावर सप्लाई से हमारा ओप एम्प? जनरली 741 के लिए इट इज 2.8 मिली एम्पियर. दैट इज द सप्लाई करंट इज ड्रॉन बाय द ओप एम्प फ्रॉम द पावर सप्लाई फॉर इट्स प्रॉपर फंक्शनिंग. And for 741 its value is given on the data sheet to be 2.8 milliampere. कोई भी IC को अपने एप्लीकेशन में यूज करने से पहले always try to take out the data sheet of that IC so that you are able to know about the absolute ratings, the maximum ratings and different precautions which you should take while handling that IC. इसलिए एक बहुत अच्छा तरीका ये होता है कि जब भी आप कोई IC यूज़ करने जा रहे हैं किसी भी अपने एप्लीकेशन में, किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट में, इट इज़ बेटर कि आप पहले उसके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ लें कि वो उसको कितनी की पावर सप्लाई चाहिए, कितना पावर चाहिए. जैसे कि हमारे 741 को कहते हैं 85 मिलीवाट पे अच्छा काम करता है. फिर उसका बाकी एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर्स से क्या उस आईसी की वर्किंग पर इफेक्ट पड़ेगा. लाइक वी टॉक अबाउट टेम्परेचर. टेम्परेचर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है विच शुड बी कंसिडर्ड. तो और उस आईसी से बेसिकली हम क्या काम कराने वाले हैं, ये सब चीज़ें वी विल बी एबल टू analyze once we have the habit of studying the and understanding the data sheet. So try to understand the data sheet, study the data sheet before using any IC in any of your projects. And 741 is a very common IC which is used by the engineering graduates for various projects, for amplifiers, for arithmetic operations, for various operations we are using 741. So the different concepts behind this 741 should be very clear, and for that data sheet help can be taken. So here we can see the block diagram for the op amp. There are 4 stages which is represented by input stage, intermediate stage, level shifting stage, and finally the output stage. So the first stage you can see here, the input stage. This, see here there are 2 inputs. These 2 inputs are basically representing the input terminals of the op amp. Till now we have been studying op amp as we were representing op amp as a triangular symbol, and in that triangular symbol we were showing 2 inputs. One was inverting input, the other was non-inverting input, and at the end of the triangle at the top of the triangle we were showing a output, a single-ended output. Here the whole block diagram of that op amp has been given. You can see here 2 inputs, the same inputs which we have studied, the non-inverting and the inverting. Any signal applied to the inverting input will bring a negative phase at the output if the voltage at this inverting input terminal is greater than the voltage at this non-inverting terminal, and vice versa will be the case. अगर non-inverting input terminal पर ज़्यादा voltage apply हो रहा है as compared to inverting input, then definitely the output will be in phase with the input. That means no phase change at the output, that is 0 degree phase change between the output and the input. So here you can see that this input stage, it is a dual input balanced output differential amplifier. Dual input means that we have two inputs here. Balanced output means that if we are giving two inputs, at the output also we are obtaining two outputs. That means it is a balanced output system. Dual input, balanced output. Differential amplifier. Why we are saying differential amplifier? Because the difference between these two terminals is measured here, and it is multiplied by the gain of the amplifier, and the amplified version of the signal is given at the output. So the term here is complete in itself, like dual input, balanced output, that means two outputs as well. Differential amplifier means amplifying the difference between the two signals. Basically, the basic amplification process is obtained at this stage of the amplifier. Also, you can see the input resistance, which we talk about, the input resistance of the amplifier can be seen at this stage. And we know that the input resistance of the amplifier is very high, should be very high, indeed it should be very high for proper functioning. And output resistance, it should be very low in order to avoid the loading effect. Now the next stage is the intermediate stage. Here you can see this intermediate stage is dual input, but it is an unbalanced output differential amplifier. Dual input, दो इनपुट हमारे पास यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं intermediate stage पे भी सी, one input and second input. Unbalanced output because here we are getting a single ended output. यहाँ पे हमें single output मिल रहा है, इसीलिए यहाँ पे हमने लिखा है unbalanced output. This is also a differential amplifier. Now you can see that this intermediate stage, it is driven by the output of the input stage. In this stage, direct coupling is used, which makes the DC voltage at the output of the intermediate stage above ground potential. That means यहाँ पर जो DC voltage होगा, that will be made above ground potential. That means the DC level at its output must be shifted down to 0 volts with respect to ground. For this, again we are using a level shifting stage, and this level shifting stage comprises of an emitter follower which uses a constant current source. The level shifting signal is then given finally to the output stage, which is the push-pull amplifier. The work of this push-pull amplifier is to increase the output voltage swing of the signal and also increase the current supplying capability of the op amp. यानी ये जो आउटपुट स्टेज है, ये फाइनली हमें आउटपुट वोल्टेज स्विंग प्रोवाइड करेगा और जो करंट सप्लाइंग कैपेबिलिटी है ओप एम्प की, उसको भी इंक्रीज करेगा. तो यहाँ से फाइनली जो हमने, अगर आप अपना वो ट्राइंगुलर वाला ब्लॉक याद कीजिए, तो उसमें दो नॉन इन्वर्टिंग इन्वर्टिंग इनपुट जो हमने दिखाया था वो ये हो गया, और फाइनली जो हम आउटपुट दिखाते थे वो ये हो गया. ये लेकिन बीच में ये सारे प्रोसेस उस ट्राइंगुलर सिंबल के अंदर अकर कर रहे थे, लेकिन बार बार वी कैन नॉट शो दिस वाया ब्लॉक डायग्राम, तो हम सिंबॉलिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन यूज करते हैं. लेकिन इंटरनली ऑल दिस थिंग्स वर हैपनिंग इनसाइड दैट ट्राइंगुलर बॉक्स व्हिच वी वर रिप्रेजेंटिंग, दैट इज दिस ब्लॉक डायग्राम ऑफ द op amp. So it is very clear, the input stage was dual input balanced output, then the intermediate stage was still a dual input and unbalanced output. All the necessary amplification was provided at the very first stage, that is the input stage. Level shifting stage, it was doing the DC shifting below the ground level, and an output stage which was using the push-pull amplifier was increasing the voltage swing of the amplifier and increasing the current supplying capability of the op amp. So this is the block diagram of the whole op amp. Next, let us see the equivalent circuit, which we have already seen this equivalent circuit basically. See, a triangular representation to represent the op amp. So there are various op amps in the market like Microampere 741, LM351, but we are studying also National Semi. Various companies are there which are giving the op amps like National Semiconductors, Motorola, Texas Instruments, Signetics, Fairchild. The op amp with which we are dealing is basically Fairchild 741 op amp. It is very common and generally used in laboratories. So the equivalent circuit, let us talk about this. You can see the two input terminals here. See, This is the two input terminal, this is the positive input terminal, and this is the negative input terminal. By this time you should be very clear about what the inputs at both these terminals are going to give as the output. V positive greater than V negative, output will be positive. V negative greater than V positive, output will be negative. This thing should be very clear. Whatever is the difference between this V positive and V negative, it will be amplified by the gain of the amplifier and will be given at the output. ठीक, तो ये हमारा हो गया इन्वर्टिंग और नॉन इन्वर्टिंग. यहाँ पर हमने लिखा हुआ है आर इन. आर इन इज द इनपुट रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ द एम्पलीफायर. If we talk about the input resistance of the amplifier, we know that the requirement of any amplifier circuit is that its input resistance should be very high. Ideally it should be infinite. बट अगर हम प्रैक्टिकल केस की बात कर रहे हैं तो 741 में इसकी वैल्यू बहुत हाई होती है, 2 मेगा ओम्स होती है. सी आइडियली एनी आइडियल कंडीशन कैन नॉट बी ऑब्टेन. इट इज जस्ट फॉर स्टडिंग द थ्योरेटिकल कॉन्सेप्ट्स की ऐसा होता, लेकिन प्रैक्टिकली वैसा हमको अगर हम देखेंगे तो मिलता नहीं है. इसीलिए यहाँ पर हमने एक रेजिस्टेंस लगा दिया है इन दोनों टर्मिनल्स के बीच में. हियर यू कैन सी यहाँ पर दोनों टर्मिनल्स के बीच में हमने एक रेजिस्टेंस लगा दिया है आर इन, विच इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द इनपुट रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ द एम्पलीफायर. इसके अक्रॉस जो वोल्टेज है वो वी इन हमने दिखा दिया है. ठीक, अब यहाँ पर हमारा वो चारों ब्लॉक डायग्राम में जो भी हमने ब्लॉक्स पढ़ा था वो सारा प्रोसेस अंदर हो रहा है. फाइनली यहाँ पर हमें एम्पलीफाइड सिग्नल मिल रहा है. यहाँ पर गेन को एम्पलीफायर के जी से रिप्रेजेंट किया है. नो प्रॉब्लम, वी कैन रिप्रेजेंट इट बाय इधर जी और ए, डिपेंड्स ऑन यू. फिर यहाँ पर जो भी इनपुट होगा इन दोनों टर्मिनल्स के बीच में, अगर ये वी इन है तो वी इन को ये मल्टीप्लाइड कर देगा ओप एम्प के गेन से, जो कि हमारा गेन है जी. जी हमारा मल्टीप्लाई हो गया वी इन से, और फिर ये हमारा आउटपुट रेजिस्टेंस है एम्पलीफायर का. नाउ रिमेंबर कि ये जो आउटपुट रेजिस्टेंस है एम्पलीफायर का, दैट शुड बी एज लो एज पॉसिबल इन ऑर्डर टू अवॉइड लोडिंग इफेक्ट. वी हैव ऑलरेडी सीन लोडिंग इफेक्ट को कम करने के लिए जितना वोल्टेज हमारा यहाँ पर मिल रहा है ओप एम्प का, वो हमें लोड रेजिस्टेंस के अक्रॉस भी मिले. इसके लिए ये ज़रूरी है कि आउटपुट रेजिस्टेंस की वैल्यू हमारी कम से कम हो. अगेन अगर हम आइडियल कंडीशन की बात कर रहे हैं तो ये हमारा ज़ीरो होना चाहिए, लेकिन प्रैक्टिकल केस में इसकी कुछ वैल्यूज़ होती है और वो वैल्यूज़ ओम्स में होती है. यानी इनपुट रेजिस्टेंस, आप सी द वास्ट गैप, इनपुट रेजिस्टेंस आपका मेगा ओम्स में है एंड द आउटपुट रेजिस्टेंस इज इन ओम्स. यानी वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स द आइडियल कंडीशन इन ऑर्डर फॉर द प्रॉपर फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द ओप एम्प. सो फाइनली here we will be getting the output voltage, which will definitely be the amplified version of this differential input. Here we are showing two supply voltage. One is positive supply voltage Vs plus, which is also represented by plus Vcc in some books, and here the negative supply voltage, which is generally represented by Vs minus or minus Vee in some books. So when we generally draw the block, draw any op amp, what we draw? Just two terminals for input and one terminal for output. Rest all this can be omitted. Take a triangle and just do this input, two inputs and one output. Positive input, negative input, and finally output. And this is the gain of the amplifier, which is A or G. This is enough while representing op amp in any circuit. And if you wish, you can also show the supply voltage here, which is plus Vcc and minus Vee. Now this is the ideal op amp model. See, we just talked that the input resistance should be infinite. Infinite resistance we can show it by using an open circuit. So here you can see, we have shown this via an open circuit because the input resistance should be very high. And here you have seen, we just saw that the output resistance should be ideally 0. So here we have shown it via a short circuit. Whenever you have to show infinite resistance in any circuit, we use open circuit, and whenever we have to show zero resistance in any circuit, we use a short circuit. So here you can see the open circuit between the two terminals, that means no current is flowing between these two terminals. And here short circuit, that means whatever is the value of voltage here will appear across the load voltage, across the load resistance here as V0. The same thing is written here. Ip is equals to In is equals to 0. That is, see, this is the ideal op amp model, remember this, and this one was the practical model. This one was the practical model. This is the ideal op amp model. Now Ip, that is the current in the positive terminal, and In, that is the current in the negative terminal, both are 0. Why? Because the resistance here is infinite. When infinite resistance means total obstruction of the current. Total obstruction of the current means zero current into the terminals of the op amp. Ri is infinity, that is infinite input resistance. We have shown it via open circuit. R0, it is 0, that is 0 output resistance. We have shown it via a short circuit. Gain, okay, talking about the gain of the op amp, ideally the gain of the op amp should be infinite, but practically if we see that for 741 it is in the range of 10 to the power 5 to 10 to the power 6, but ideally it is infinite. Now see that the ideal op amp model, they show deviation from the real or the practical op amps, but the ideal conditions in the ideal op amp model, they are very useful for the designing and the analysis of the circuit. Like while doing the designing and analysis, we generally use the ideal op amp models. The numericals which we will be solving will be based on ideal op amp models also. So, but you should be familiar about the things which vary from moving from ideal towards practical case. Now see, this is the voltage transfer curve. These type of curves you will also see on the data sheet, because on the data sheet they also provide the plots of various quantities with respect to the others, like how the gain is varying with frequency, how the phase angle is varying with frequency, how the output is dependent on temperature. All this is shown via the help of graphs. This is the curve which we have obtained between the output and the input of the op amp. That is the input which we are giving at the input terminals. Basically we are talking about the difference voltage between the two input terminals, because definitely the op amp is going to convert the difference voltage between the terminals and going to give it at its output. So you can see on the abscissa here that we are showing the input voltage Vi, and on the ordinates or vertical axis or y axis we are showing the output voltage V0. Now see, as we are increasing the input voltage, the output voltage is increasing. Why? Because it is an amplifier, it is a linear integrated circuit. Op amp is a linear integrated circuit. Increasing the input will increase the output. There is a linear relationship between the output and the input. So you can see it from the graph here. We are increasing the input, the output is also increasing. But once the output is reaching the supply voltage level, that is VCC, further, now from this point further increasing the input voltage is having no effect on the output voltage. That means the output is now saturated to plus VCC and it is not increasing further. Similarly, in the negative domain also, in the negative region also, you can see that first when we were increasing the input voltage, the output was increasing, but after a certain voltage which was the negative supply voltage was obtained, after this point when we were increasing the input, the output did not increase and it's saturated. Why? क्योंकि जब भी हम इसको प्रैक्टिकली ऐसे समझते हैं, जैसे मान लीजिए हमारा सप्लाई वोल्टेज हम प्लस माइनस 15 वोल्ट का दे रहे हैं, तो आपका आउटपुट एम्पलीफिकेशन के बाद कभी भी इस सप्लाई वोल्टेज से तो ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकता है. मैक्सिमम क्या हो सकता है कि कितना भी आपका एम्पलीफिकेशन हो रहा है, मैक्सिमम एम्पलीफिकेशन की भी हम बात करें तो सप्लाई वोल्टेज को वो एक्सीड करके बाहर नहीं जा सकता है. अगर सप्लाई वोल्टेज प्लस 15 वोल्ट का है तो बेसिकली वो प्लस 15 वोल्ट तक, प्लस माइनस 15 वोल्ट है अगर, तो बेसिकली वो प्लस माइनस 15 वोल्ट तक भी नहीं पहुंच पाता है, 13 वोल्ट पर ही जाकर हमारा आउटपुट जो है वो सैचुरेट कर जाता है। यहाँ पर तो ये हम आइडियल केस दिखा रहे हैं कि हमारा आउटपुट मैक्सिमम सप्लाई वोल्टेज तक जा सकता है, दैट इज प्लस वीसीसी एंड माइनस वीई, बट प्रैक्टिकली वो उस सप्लाई वोल्टेज का 90 टू 93% तक हमको मिलता है। जैसे हमने कहा कि 13 वोल्ट हमको मिला या 13 वोल्ट्स मिला। तो ऐसा क्यों होता है? जैसे मान लीजिए अगर आपने माइक्रो वोल्ट्स में सिग्नल लिया तो एम्पलीफिकेशन के बाद जैसे 50 माइक्रो वोल्ट्स यहाँ पर दिया हुआ है कि हमने हमारा जो इनपुट है वो माइक्रो वोल्ट्स में है, दैट इज 50 माइक्रो वोल्ट। तो अगर हम 50 माइक्रो वोल्ट को ओपैम्प के गेन से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं, जिसको मान लीजिए हमारा 10 टू द पावर 5 है, तो आउटपुट हमारा आ जाएगा 50 इंटू 10 टू द पावर 5, दैट इज द केस। तो अगर 50 माइक्रो वोल्ट हमने दिया हुआ है इनपुट पे, तो आउटपुट क्या होगा? इनपुट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द गेन। मान लेते हैं कि हमारा गेन आपका है 10 टू द पावर 5, सपोज 10 टू द पावर 5, हम प्रैक्टिकल ओपैम्प की बात कर रहे हैं, दैट इज द गेन ऑफ द ओपैम्प। तो अगर यहाँ पर देखते हैं 50 माइक्रो वोल्ट, इसको हम गेन से मल्टीप्लाई करें, गेन हमारा 10 टू द पावर 5 है, तो 50 माइक्रो वोल्ट को जब 10 टू द पावर 5 से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो ये आएगा 5 वोल्ट्स। तो 5 वोल्ट्स तो हमारा जो सप्लाई वोल्टेज है दैट इज प्लस माइनस 15 वोल्ट उससे कम है, यानी आउटपुट पे वी कैन गेट 5 वोल्ट। लेकिन अगर मान लीजिए यही इनपुट वोल्टेज 50 माइक्रो वोल्ट से बढ़ाकर हमने 5 वोल्ट कर दिया, तो उस कंडीशन में 5 वोल्ट को अब आप 10 टू द पावर 5 वोल्ट से मल्टीप्लाई कीजिए, सॉरी 10 टू द पावर 5 गेन से मल्टीप्लाई कीजिए, तो उस कंडीशन में आपका आउटपुट क्या आएगा? 5 into 10 to the power 5 volts, whereas the supply voltage is only plus minus 15 volts. Is this case practically possible? Definitely not, because supply voltage is 15 volts, and after the multiplication of the gain of the amplifier with the input, which was 5 volts, we are getting 5 into 10 to the power 5 volts. That is, it is exceeding the range of the output voltage. Sorry, it is exceeding the range of the supply voltage. सो दिस केस इज प्रैक्टिकली नॉट पॉसिबल, मतलब कि एक मैक्सिमम वैल्यू को ऑब्टेन करके हमारा आउटपुट सैचुरेट कर जाएगा, एंड दैट मैक्सिमम वैल्यू इज द सप्लाई वोल्टेज। तो इसीलिए यहाँ पर सैचुरेशन जो है वो देखिए सप्लाई वोल्टेज पे दिखा रहा है प्लस वीसीसी और माइनस वीई पे। जैसे ही हमारा आउटपुट पहुंचता है उसके बाद उसका इंक्रीमेंट फर्दर इस डायरेक्शन में रुक जाता है और वो इसी पॉइंट पर आके सैचुरेट कर जाता है। उसके बाद आप इनपुट वोल्टेज अपना कितने भी बढ़ाते रहिए, आउटपुट विल नॉट इंक्रीज। This is the limitation of the op-amp, and from that we can easily draw the voltage transfer curve. This is also known as the VTC. In short, it is known as the VTC of the 741 op-amps. Now next we have the topic frequency response of the op-amp. This is a very important topic while discussing the op-amp circuits. Frequency response means how the gain of the op-amp is dependent upon the frequency, and to study this we will be studying a high frequency model for the op-amps.